Time for more Rush, but let's make it live this time. I want to listen to Red Sector A, live Grace Under Pressure tour. I love that name, Grace Under Pressure. That is hard, isn't it? To show grace under pressure, that is not easy. Shout out today goes to David M. Thank you so much for buying me coffees, for your support on my platforms, and for your patience. It's time for this one, Red Sector A. Are you ready? Here we go. Imagine being at a Rush concert. Brains exploding everywhere. Staying alive, yup.
All that we can do is just survive. All that we can do to help ourselves is stay alive. Rugged lines of ragged gray. Shouting guns and smoking guns, cut down the unlucky ones.
That's a catchy hook.
A wound that will not heal, a heart that cannot feel, hoping that the horror will get free, hoping that tomorrow we'll all be free.
Hey, that was awesome.
Sickness through insanity. Prayer through profanity. Days and weeks and months go by. Don't feel the hunger too weak to cry. I hear the sound of gunfire at the prison gate. I've been liberated here. Do I hope or do I fear? For my father and my brother, it's too late. But I must help my mother stand up straight. Are we the last ones left alive? Are we the only human beings to survive? Are we the last ones left alive? Are we the only human beings to survive?
There's so much storytelling in their songs. This has such a sci-fi vibe, as I feel is the case with several of their songs. And just the fact alone that it was called Red Sector A, it made me think of the Red Parqueta song. That sci-fi storytelling that I find, not only in the musical composition, but the way that they go about their singing. The hook, so catchy, how that weaves through as a red thread. All that we can do is just survive. All we can do to help ourselves is stay alive. And sci-fi storytelling aside for a second, as if, you have to survive and the future is coming, etc. It is very, from an existential standpoint, from a psychological standpoint, very true. At the end of the day, that is what it boils down to. We emphasize a lot of things that we think are necessary. And sure, we have human basic needs that are just there in order for us to survive, from water and food and shelter to love and affection and these things we need in our development. But at the end of the day, as we get older, I suppose we become more aware of this too, as all those things strip away bit by bit, the material things we deem important. We realize that at the end of the day, the most precious, most valuable commodity of all is time. Right? And so it's very interesting just to start so poignant and fitting to from a storytelling standpoint, but psychologically even very, very true. Let's break it down to the core. Ragged lines of ragged gray, skeletons that shuffle away, shouting guards and smoking guns will cut down the unlucky ones. It makes me think of this futuristic imprisonment yet again. So fitting to the storyline as we were working through the album together. I have a lot of Rush reactions, by the way, so check out those and work your way through the list and enjoy them. There's a lot there. Sickness to insanity, prayer to profanity. Ooh, which is crazy. From sickness to insanity, prayer to profanity. Sickness to insanity makes me think of going beyond a point of having a disease to completely losing your mind. But prayer to profanity is a beautiful alliteration. Well, almost alliteration, because to go from prayer, which is considered holy and sacred and, modest, to profanity, where now we're cussing up a storm, it sounds like a contradiction. Things are going downhill, I guess one could say. Days and weeks and months go by. Don't feel the hunger, too weak to cry. I hear the sound of gunfire at the prison gate. Are the liberators here? Do I hope or do I fear? For my father and my brother, it's too late, but I must help my mother stand up straight. Are we the last ones left alive? Total storytelling, painting this picture of the captivity in that futuristic world. Red Sector A. Are we the last ones left alive? And while it's wild to see the storytelling as we're working through their songs and their album, as we're working through the various songs of Rush and the album, I see this storytelling that makes me think this could be very futuristic. This control, a camp you're in where you are trying to survive and you're being captive and you are waiting for the liberators. And it makes me, I say this because it makes me think of the storyline in the album 2112. But I also see the theme here that is part of our human history, which is encampment, mass genocide, mass encampment, the Holocaust, for example. It makes me think of not only a futuristic picture that's being painted, but literally our human history, where people have been imprisoned, mass imprisonments, and especially this part makes it very very poignant. Are the liberators here? Do I hope or do I fear? My father and my brother, for them it's too late, but I must help my mother stand up straight. It paints a very horrible and powerful and painful picture of what happened during the Holocaust. And as I mentioned, in general, in human history, there have been several situations, and even with slavery in America, where this mass oppression, mass genocide, mass enslavement, and many loved ones dying, and those who are remaining, fighting for their survival, holding up their loved ones, in this case, the mother, who can't even stand up straight, paints a very painful picture, ending with, are we the last ones left alive? What a lonely place to have lost so many people. Can't even imagine that suffering. To then ask that question, are we the last ones? And I think on an obvious level, it's horrendous pain, horrendous tragedy, what was done during the Holocaust and in the Dritte Reich, as well as in various enslavements and genocides around the world throughout human history, during the Crusades and various points in history that are horrendous and disgusting and horrible. On a psychological level, to go just a little bit deeper, I think the question being asked, are we the last ones left alive? Are we the only human beings to survive? It also taps into a very human question that I believe from an existential theoretical standpoint taps into our desire to figure out if we are alone. And as human beings, when it comes to our death anxieties and to our existential desire for relationship. That often is something that plagues us consciously, subconsciously, that drives us, our longing for relationship, our longing to know, will you stay with me? Am I the only one left? This goes for people who struggle with depression, who struggle with anxiety, who might feel alone in their turmoil, for people with chronic illnesses, for people with diagnoses, who've lost a loved one, for those who are grieving, who've had to lay their husband or wife or children to rest. This feeling of isolation, because the world keeps turning and it's not just. Other people keep living their life. They don't know what you're going through. They can't possibly grasp your loneliness and isolation. And this is a human experience in the face of tragedy, as mentioned, but even on a psychological level, in our day-to-day life, where we feel alone and we go, am I the last one left? Is this it? I'm trying so hard to survive. All that it's left is staying alive. That's the goal. That's the purpose. Holding my mother upright. I'm trying to get out of here. Are the liberators here yet? I'm trying to survive. Is this all that's left? Very fitting to the Holocaust and to that horrendous, disgusting tragedy, but also very fitting to the human experience in general of going, I'm trying to survive. Time is running out, right? That's what I'm holding on to. I want to live, but I see people around me fading. Am I the only one that's left? Is this how it's going to end? Am I going to die alone? And so there's different ways we can look into this and analyze this, because that is a hard place. Looking at suffering, finding meaning in life in the face of terror and horror, finding hope in the face of grief and death, and coming to terms with our own death and still finding a reason to live in the present. And there's various theories, and we could go and do a whole long conversation about how one can find therapeutic ways to find hope and new life. And there's books that have been written about it, and different therapeutic approaches and schools of thought psychologically. But a very powerful song, a very poignantly written song. Rush, doing it again. What do you think about it? Talk to me in the comments. If you want to enjoy more music with me, feel it, experience it, find education and encouragement, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next ride. Ayo!